This is TWiT.
If you've been on Twitter, perhaps some other sites, but particularly Twitter, and seen some squares coming by, a group of squares maybe in white and green and orange, and you're going, what in the world is this about? It is probably someone posting their Wordle outcome, I guess you could say, the score, how long it took for them to get to the answer for Wordle. And if you're wondering what the heck Wordle is this really interesting word game that is incredibly simple. In fact, if we can go to the website, the second link there, you'll see this basic screen and it shows how the game is played. So you have, 5 letters that or a word that has 5 letters in it, and you type in a word and you hit enter, and then it will show you green, yellow, or dark gray as the result underneath each letter. Green means that you guessed the letter correctly and you have it in the right place. Yellow means you guessed the letter correctly, but it's in the wrong place. And dark gray means you guessed the letter incorrectly and it is not in this word. So you have, I think it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, is it 6? Yeah, 6 chances to properly guess the word that you are trying to, that you want to guess. So John just typed in ready, and then he'll hit enter, and it will tell him that there is an A in the word, but it doesn't fit in that spot. I know what today's Wordle is. I don't want to spoil it for people who play this game, so I'm not going to. But what I love there are a few things that I think are really fun about this game. One, it's kind of this quietly creeping game, which I think is really fun, where people are starting to see this pop up on Twitter, then they're asking about it, then people are sharing their link, and we get more information. Then you get more information about it that way. I finally looked it up and decided to. So now we know there's an L in the word, and that's in the right place.
I got an L. Legal. No, Berg, it's not illegal.
There's no E in this word.
No, there's no E. You can't use E. That's the hard part. I think there's no...
Yeah, E is... my first word always has an E in it because E is the most commonly used letter in the English language.
So, there's an L at the end of it. There's an A and an M, and there's an L.
See, this is so fun.
No, bagel doesn't work, though.
Bagel does... bagel's not a bad guess.
It's not a bad guess.
It's just that the G is... You know that there's no G.
Yeah, exactly. So. Bergen's not helping.
No G or E.
So John is trying to work this out. I'll continue to explain the game. So what is fun is on the one hand, it's this kind of slowly creeping game where more people are starting to learn about it, but also that it is such a simple game in comparison to all of these other games that are out there, all these other trends that are out there. This one is so simple. So the New York Times put together a profile about this. Basically, a developer wanted to create a game for his partner. She was looking for something fun to play and did not know, didn't really have anything that quite matched up with what she was after. And so he created this game for her and him to play. They both ended up liking it. He decided to share it with some other people in his family and friends. They really liked it, so then he decided to make it public. And part of what makes this so fun is the sort of artificial scarcity that exists. There's a countdown timer on the website. After you've solved the puzzle, there's a countdown timer on the website until the next one becomes available. And then there's also something fun that you and other people out there are guessing the same word. So whenever they get it, you get it, then you kind of are all sharing in that same experience. It's a lot like crosswords and other similar games, like why those keep continuing to be popular. You're all working against the same kind of puzzle. So I've seen a few people, on Twitter share their scores and have since, started. I didn't share mine today because I forgot to right afterward. And so I had to solve it again in order to get it, but I solved it a lot quicker the second time because I knew what the word was, so I didn't want to share a fake score. But what's interesting, too, is that the developer who made this when he originally made it, there was no ability to share. And so people came up with their own way using emoji squares because they mimicked the color and the look of the game. And so once he saw that, then he's like, oh, I can just add this as a feature of the game to make it easy for you to share. And I love this sort of community that has come to this game that has started to exist over time. And people can look at these and see what they are and go, oh, interesting. I want to try playing that game. It started out with 20 people playing, then 90 people, and now there was 100,000 people. I imagine after today's show, because this has now been published in the New York Times and elsewhere, the site's going to get even more popular. But it's
and
just
Tech News Weekly. I mean, we're going to take this
Our
into the
bump
very
is
next
going to
level.
be, a billion people at the very least. Jason, I'm curious, do you like word games, and does this one make you at all interested? Would this be something that you could see yourself playing?
I had seen the headline for this either yesterday or today. I can't remember when I saw it first. I don't know if the article came out today or not, but I definitely saw this within the last, so it was a couple of days ago. And I was curious to check it out, but I was in a place where, in a moment where I couldn't. So I'm happy you brought it up because I actually do like word games. I tend to get into them really hard, and then I kind of, they drop off the face of the earth.
Peter out,
Yeah, peter out. I remember the Words with Friends craze, and I was really into that back in the day. And that was cool because it's kind of like that community thing, which there's a little bit of a communal aspect to this too, right? I really like the fact that everybody's working on the same word, even though that could be spoiled pretty easily. But still, it gives everyone kind of a common language. It's not just the game, but it's also that specific game. But yeah, word games are fun. I enjoy them. And I'm looking at this puzzle right now, and I've got the first and third letter in the right place.
By process of elimination, I tried power just for the sake of it, just to process it out. So realistically,
no letters.
A has to be in the second or fourth position because it can't be in the first or third. So now I'm trying to think of words that has an A in the second and fourth spot because I know there's an L. So that's the process. The N is not in the second one, so it has to be in 1, 3, or 4.
I like to keep a little notepad with me for this so that I can kind of write it out and see it.
Because with the yellow, this indicates, okay, it's there, but it's not in the right spot. So we know A has, I can't try to think of a 5-letter word.
The last two.
No, it's not AL. Is it? It could be AL. Okay, but what's a 5-letter word that has AL? And I'm trying to think because it's one of those things I'm realizing that how many 5-letter words are there with a very specific?
I will say this.
Things?
This is. I'll give you one hint. It's not. I promise it's not that much of a hint. This is not a word that you're going to be using every day unless you're a little bit pompous.
It's not something in a common vocabulary that one.
Yesterday's word was tiger, which is a very familiar word. That's not a spoiler because now it's a whole Wordle. Like it doesn't. You can't go back and do yesterday's puzzle. So
so this is it's randomized every day. You can't go back and it's the
right now you cannot go back and try yesterday's puzzle. I would not be surprised if the developer ends up making that a feature, but it's keeping it pretty simple right now. But yeah, so me saying that yesterday's puzzle was tiger, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty common word. This one is not as common. So it took me, I think the fourth row was whenever I got this one. Yes. See, it's so tough. It's tough to figure this out, but it's fun. And then like the other people that have solved it, they know what the word is. And then once you get the word, you're all like, yeah, we got the word. And so there's something very fun about that community.
Does confetti fall from the top of the screen
I can't remember.
Bit of a celebration?
I think it just pops up a little word at the top that says like magnificent or terrific or awesome.
You did it. Good job.
You did it.
What's the letter?
You have succeeded.
It's not tiger, obviously, because that was yesterday's word.
Yeah, that was yesterday's word, and also there's no E.
Yeah, I know
in
there's
this
no
word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, Berg, we can't ask for hands. That ruins the whole point. Just try to solve it on your own. Berg, don't talk. You're offering me 6-letter combinations that don't work in a 5-letter word. Okay, I'm actually. This is the problem. I've seen this pop up. This is actually, I can see this becoming very addicting.
Yeah, I can see John not being able to switch the rest of the show.
I'm not switching now. Okay, we're going to continue the rest of the show like this as I try to
We're going to be talking about all of the rest of our stuff, and John's going to be busy working on this Wordle.
So
Wordling.
everybody go play Wordle, share your scores with us. I am curious how fast you solved today's Wordle, which was a little bit more difficult than yesterday's.